Hey, how you doing? So I've been messing around with Midjourney again to get some images. I this time entered in like red and black, or was it red? No, or was it red and white foxes, cyberpunk, and I got loads of amazing images, and I've put together this fake dummy landing page website. Took me about nearly 2 hours, and it's been done in Elementor. And I'm going to very quickly go through it as a summary. There is a much longer video where you see me work through it, but this is a quick summary. So we have a hero banner. Now, the way I've done this is 60% and this is 40% or something along those lines. The idea behind it is that hero banners don't need to always be full page. You can have full width, but you can actually break it up. So here we have like a logo, and we have a menu, and we have a logo or an image, but it's occupying the right-hand side. I'm going to have this massive space for wording. Now, this image maybe could have been moved over a bit more to the left, but I kind of wanted to stylize it in a certain way, so I had spacing for clear wording and a couple of call to actions. And then further down, we have these icons. These are all logos created in Midjourney as well. This is amazing, right? And then I did a border radius on them, and you'll see that. And we have some text over here, down here, like I think it was an image box we did. So this is all one page, but it's split into two containers. And then we scroll down to another container with lead the war. There's only a little bit spacing there, but it looks bigger because of the black over there. In terms of the image, we have a bit of a gradient. Can you see the gradient there? As we have the parallax effect, it scrolls over it. Lovely, wonderful. I go crazy whenever I see this image. Bit of text. We then have another parallax background image. We've got an image, some more text, another call to action. We then go into a replica of what we had above, but this time we have an all black background. Choose your weapons. Again, these were created in Midjourney. Brain explosion, right? Like total brain explosion. And then we have a bit of a gallery. You know, I just put in like, hey, why not? I mean, these images here, they are lightbox, by the way. But it's when you go for something like this, where it's just full width, looks really inviting. And then you scroll down, we've got the fight starts now, and subscribe. We've got another parallax image, and we've got a box. So how was this all created? Really easily, to be honest. I mean, I can't explain it in a much easier way. We have a container at the top over here. That container has got a -46 because we have an overlap with the hero container. So if I'd gone to this header and I had said set this to be 0, it is now above the hero. But if I put it on a -46, we get the overlap. And of course, it's got a Z index of 2 to ensure we get the full-on overlap. The layout for this, nothing special. It's just set as a row. Everything is at the start, and we have a center effect there. And that was basically it. Oh yes, one more thing. I added in a 150 pixel on the left-hand side. So no matter how big the screen is, it's always going to be 150 away from the side, and the same with the text over here as well. Then we go to the hero banner. Again, nothing majorly amazing going on here. This has got two containers. Container number 2, I'll start with that one first. Container number 2 is a width of about 50% of the screen. It's set as a row. I'm not sure why I did that. It makes no difference whether it was a row or a column, if I'm going to be absolutely honest. I mean, it doesn't matter, but the main thing was the image, which is a center right scroll, no repeat custom. All of the images from Midjourney were converted into WebP with bulkresizePhotos.com. Please do that if you care about your page speed performance. But all we have is an image. The reason why that's been done as a container and not an image was in case I decided to drop anything else into there. So I was just future-proofing it for myself. Now, container number, or child container number 1 over here is set to be a row. And it's got the wrap functionality on. Why have we gone for row and wrap? Well, the items here, we have a header. It meant that I could allow the buttons to be side by side. Both of these are set to be 100% in width, or the default width, whereas over here, these are defaulted to be custom. So if I go like that, look, I can make the spacing of the button bigger or smaller. I'm going to leave it as custom. But when you go for row and wrap, it allows you to basically have them sat side by side. The parent container for this hero is just set as a row as well. Because if this was set as a column, can you now see that column container 2, sorry, child container number 2 goes below container 1. If you go for row, they are now side by side. Again, I told you it's really, really simple, right? Then we go to the next container. Actually, can I go back a step? The hero container, if we just go... I've set the VH to be 60 over there. Okay, so remember that. If we now go to the clans container over here, that has got a VH for 40. 60 plus 40 is 100. You know, I'm pretty sure you knew that. By the way, this hero banner also had a 150 pixel on the left as well to make sure everything was in line with the logo. The clans one is set to be a 900 boxed width because I wanted it all to be a little bit inwards. And this clans one here contains 3 image boxes. So the clans container that you can see over here, I'll just move this higher. If we go to the layout, everything is set as a row, so it's side by side. And then inside of there, we just have image boxes. And the image box is basically just an image, so title and wording. And then obviously you do your stylizing over here. You would stylize it accordingly. I did make the images be 75%. 100% felt a little bit too big, and you can see what's going on there. So I put it to 75% to ensure we could still see all of the wording on the screen. Each of the image boxes as well, if I just double check, no, sorry, let me go back over to the clans one. There was no need for me to set the width to be 33% or anything like that. It automatically does it. The only thing I did do though was add a bit of padding on the left and right, the top and bottom, just to make it look reasonably good. And of course you will have noticed in the clans, the style, we have a background image like that, which is set to fix, which is why we get the parallax scroll effect. And then we also have a background overlay, which is part transparent and part black. I've set it to start, well, for the location to go from 100 to 80, because if I did 100, it was a little bit too low, and you can see what happens if I made it higher. Let's just pop that back over to 80. And the opacity is 1, because I've made the top half transparent. You know, if I'd gone like that, it wouldn't be as dramatic, but it's a nice, like, dusky effect. Dusky? Yeah, like a nighttime effect kicking in there. Right, then we go down to this container over here, which is just a container with a heading. All right, it's just got a bit of padding over there, 20 and 20, pretty small and slim, nothing special. Then we go to this container. This is a container with 100 VH. It is set as a row. We do have a stretch effect as well. I mean, it didn't really need to be a row. It could have just been a column if I'm really honest, but I just went for row. And the way I've set it out at the moment is the wording inside of here. Sorry, let me get this right. The heading, the container that sits within inside over here. Now, when I created this, it's a copy of above the hero banner. This does not need to be in a container, but I've left it in there just in case I was going to do anything to the side over here. Would I put in another image? And in the end, I didn't do that. But this container here, the child container that contains the headings, everything is set to the end. Look, middle, top. Okay, so it didn't have to be in a child container, if I'm really honest. It didn't have to be. Could have just been in the parent container, but it is in the child container like that. Then we go down over here where now we have a complete copy of what we had above. Okay, so the same thing, because we are now in this section over here. We have 2 containers. This is a basic copy. The only difference is that container 1 now is set to be in the middle rather than at the end. It's a copy basically. You know, you change the image. This one is now parallax effect. But then over here on the right hand side in this container, we have a image. And the image, both of these containers are 50-50%. This container, this image is set to be 60%. If I had gone for 100%, it started to look a little bit too big. 60% looked okay. And I've added in a box shadow. If I remove it and add it back in, you can probably just about see it. And there was nothing else going on with the padding or anything at all. Then we get over here. I mean, I can hide away the navigator now. Over here, we have a copy of what we had above with the clans, but this time it's a pure black background. And all I've now added in is a header as well at the top. This is a 100 VH container, and all we have in here is a gallery. And look, the gallery is just a mixture of some images that are individual images and some images which are a grid of 4. So we get a nice little mosaic effect. That's what I love about Midjourney. You could have an image on its own, or you could have an image where you have them like split into a grid, and it just looks like an artistic approach, when in fact Midjourney did half the work. Well, most of the work for me. Then again, we get down here, we now have again a small container with just a bit of wording. And then we get again a duplicate of what we had above. Parent container with 2 child containers. We put in, it's all in the middle. We got header or text editor header, whatever you want, social sharing icons. Then on the right hand side over here, we went and dropped in a form. And this form, I wanted to make it be not too big. So if I click on the container, this is set to be 23%. If it's at 50%, you could have seen what was going on. I went for 23% as well, because it didn't have to be a big, bold subscription form. You know, it just has to be pretty small for you to get your email in. This is super, 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 super basic. But I think the power of images, like that image there, like you just want to stare at it, right? It's like, what? But the power of images, because there's nothing special been done here. Just container, right? Header, text, and 1 image, and an image gallery. And yeah, okay, I used a form, and I used an image box as well over here. But it is so basic. But this, like, you know, for a fantasy science fiction website where you're allowed to be a little bit different, is wicked. I love it. I'm Imran Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. And if you really want to watch me build this step by step, by step, there's a much longer video, okay, which has been released as well. Go and watch that, and that's where you'll see me making mistakes as well as I do it, and I redo bits and pieces. But if you want to watch that, go and do it. Otherwise, just hit like, and I'll see you soon.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat.